Aerobics, weight training, health food diets, and workouts. Americans are big on physical fitness. But some rabbis say we're satisfying our bodies and starving our souls. Since we are what we eat, they say part of the solution is a unique diet of foods that for 3,500 years has been a source of spirituality.
It says in the Bible, can you imagine eating God's diet? It's a very heavy thing, particularly for people who are orientated towards religion and towards godliness and towards spirituality. Who better can give us a nutritional system that works?
At first I felt as if my home were holier, and I really thought that it would not last long. In other words, I expected that after a few days that feeling would go away. It has never gone away. It's almost as though there's a part of my home to me almost glows. I know that must sound kind of silly. I really can't explain it. It just is different.
If you want to give the children, the next generation, a feeling of continuity, a feeling of what's important, then you create that kind of a home and they follow in your footsteps. And this is something that we should all want to do. If we really want to maintain that Jewish tradition, we need to start in the kitchen.
My home feels blessed. It feels like it's actually a holy place, and people feel it when they walk in. They know it's a kosher home.
There's a new trend, according to recent studies. In fact, even businessmen are trying to capitalize on it. Record numbers of Jews and even non-Jews concerned about quality and wholesomeness are rediscovering the kosher diet. In the process, many myths about kosher foods are melting away. The increasing popularity of kosher foods is well known within the food industry itself. According to industry sources, more than 6 million people now eat kosher foods, and that accounts for $1.5 billion in annual sales. In fact, you may be surprised to learn that more than 30% of all the packaged foods available in your local supermarket are now certified kosher.
Whereas you used to have, let's say, 10 or 15 different chocolates on the market, now there's hundreds. Even with chewing gum, it used to have 2 different kinds, now there may be 50 kinds with sugarless or what have you.
The fact is, keeping kosher is simple. Thousands of your favorite foods are already certified kosher, and we're talking about name brands available on your supermarket shelf. And the list keeps growing every single year. The fact is, 10 years ago, there were about 1,000 products that were certified kosher in the United States. That number has now ballooned to more than 18,000. Just look for one of these recognized kosher symbols, such as OU, OK, NK, or ChavK. They mean the product is 100% kosher, its preparation carefully supervised by a rabbi.
And that's a nice flavor. I've never done that with a stir fry. I always use
The modern
tamari.
kosher kitchen has all of the latest conveniences. It is also exceptionally clean. More, though, than just a friendly, centralized place used for storing, preparing, and cooking food, it is also the spiritual center of the Jewish home. When you set up and keep a kosher kitchen, you follow what are known as the laws of Kashrus. Milk and meat are kept totally separate and never eaten together. Meat meals are served on separate dishes, cooked in separate pots and pans, and cleaned in separate areas. The same is true for meals composed of dairy products. Certain foods are never allowed into the home or your body. Pork, meats from aggressive animals, shellfish, such as lobster and shrimp, and a few other categories listed specifically in the book of Deuteronomy. All fruits and vegetables are kosher, as well as natural grains and certain meats and poultry. Kosher animals must be slaughtered in the most humane manner. The meat and internal organs are then carefully examined by a specialized rabbi known as a mashgiach.
Anybody who's eating kosher knows that they're eating the cleanest food that is imaginable on every level. For example, when the animal is killed, a rabbi runs his hand, they blow up the lung, and they run their hand along it, and if there is the slightest imperfection of the lung, that animal is not considered kosher. The slightest appendage on the lung, it's not considered glatt kosher, so to speak. If there's a hole in the lung, the animal is not kosher at all. They check the veins, they check the visceral parts of the body, they check to see the gall, to make sure that that animal is absolutely wholesome and healthy. If there was the least bit of suspicion that the animal is not healthy, that animal is not kosher.
Even though kosher food is as pure as possible and free of most additives and chemicals, rabbis tell us it's not the fear of trichinosis or unsanitary conditions which should compel us to keep kosher. They say, like the other commandments, keeping kosher is a mitzvah, one of the 613 found in the Torah. The word mitzvah doesn't mean good deed, as many people think. It means connection, a connection with God that you make, and think about every time you eat. In a number of large cities, kosher restaurants of all types are common. Many are fashionable and elegant. In Miami, like New York and Los Angeles, more kosher restaurants are opening for business.
Like I said, so many kosher places to eat in. You can have whatever you want. You don't need Italian food, Chinese food, meat, milk, whatever you want. There's a big choice.
All kinds of special diets have been linked to a better life and to better health for society. So why hasn't this age of fitness ushered in an age of enlightenment? Our rabbis say we have ignored our soul's needs for too long. They say eating foods which are holy, foods which are part of God's diet, can make a big difference.
This is a program that for 3,500 years has been told to us makes us who we are, creates that uniqueness about us. Try it.